So, Rip, what keeps you motivated to keep doing this?
What makes you think I'm motivated?
Well, you keep doing it.
Well, I do keep doing it. What choice do I have? I don't have another skill. You know, got to do something for a living.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's been real lucrative. It's been, we're in high demand. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I kind of just have an idea and I write it down. You know, like this last week, the article that went up Wednesday, the functional training thing. I guess probably the best answer to that question would be what motivates me is probably anger.
I couldn't tell you.
That's probably the most honest response to that question.
In the past few years, have you seen a higher or lower level of interest in either seminars or online training? And
Yes.
what are you doing to meet those demands over the next couple of years? Is anything changing?
Oh, that sounds like a business plan question.
It is? Yeah.
We're just stumbling along here. We've especially this year.
Demand is outstripping.
We've never sold 30 slots at Wichita Falls before.
It seems like a big class.
Yeah, and business has been good, and there are other indications. I'm getting more idiot-ass requests on my personal email for people that want to advertise on the website, which never happened before. So apparently some threshold's been crossed. I don't know what it would be, but something has been tripped. We're getting a lot of that kind of stuff. What have app sales done?
Yeah, they're growing slowly over time without, we do zero marketing for it. And I haven't done an update in about 6 months, but they're slowly progressing over time. So definitely the interest is going up.
Book sales have gone up for a little bit every month for the past 10 years. We're penetrating the market a little bit at a time. You know, you'd never know it from the Facebook comments, but people seem to be beginning at least to understand what it is we're trying to get done here. So the other part of the question is what are we doing to meet that demand? Well, we're trying to produce the best educational products that we can produce to get as many people as we can through the evaluation process into the SSO, into the starting strength coach credential. If we peak out demand, we can't service any more than we're doing. We're not going to do what CrossFit did. That will not happen.
What did CrossFit do?
Hand out, tell everybody they're coach. Here's $1,000, you're a coach. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do it. Will not happen. While I am alive, it will not happen. Over my dead, fat body. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a pretty important question, Rip. I was wondering, I think Nick knows where this is going. So I was wondering
how is kangaroo?
It's too lean. There's not much fat on it.
It's like venison, probably.
Yeah, yep. And it's cheap.
Was
that your question?
No.
No, that was my question.
So I was wondering, is dipping of the testicles in a bowl of ice going to make it into the next edition of the book?
That's that's a Chinese technique, and I'm widely known to be a racist about the Chinese. So no, it's not going to be in the book. Does anybody know what he's talking about? We were at a conference, at a coaching development conference at the Olympic Training Center back in 2000, and Olympic weightlifting coaches all over the country were invited. It was an international thing, and they brought in a guy that was one of the Chinese national coaches. And he got up with a perfectly straight face, and I've got this in my notes. If you read my notes, and the recommendation was that the male athletes, at least, were supposed to ice their testicles every night for like 10 minutes before they went to bed. And this was thought to increase natural levels of testosterone. So, hey, Greg, give that a try before you. I mean, before you get the test done, I mean, what if it works? So that's what he's talking
If
about.
I ever go address the Chinese national weightlifting team, I'll tell them to ice something else. If you're the Chinese guy and you're coming to America, say some crazy shit. And see what people do.
Right. Watch him do it. Watch him do it. Tell them to put the bar up on their top of their traps. Watch them do it. All right.
To reference one of the earlier Ask Rip seminars, actually it was before the seminar part was done. It was asked, did you prefer the toilet paper to come from over top?
Over the top.
But some jackass.
Did somebody fucking go back there
And have you ever found out who it was? That's
No.
my question.
No, it happens every once in a while. Some fucking asshole will go in the bathroom and change my toilet paper to under the bottom.
Because I'm with you, it's got to come
And it
from
just
over the top.
pisses me off so fucking bad. Because you know damn good and well they did that on purpose. Just to piss me off.
But you've never found out.
No.
Who?
No, it happens at random every 2 to 3 months.
What
So
a
it's
shame.
probably one guy that knows.
Some evil genius.
It's an evil cat.
If you own a cat, that's why you would do that.
Really?
Yeah.
What the-
Cats
does that
just
keep
fucking
the-
do this all the time. You gotta-
Oh, I see. Well, I don't. Why would you own a cat?
I like my cat, Rip.
Do you? Your cat likes to play with the toilet paper?
Plays, yeah, it entertains itself.
Well, yeah, now that you've mentioned it, the puppy did go into the bathroom and pull the toilet paper out into the hall a couple of times.
You probably do it with your mouth, though, so it probably wouldn't matter
Yeah.
if it was over or under.
No, he just
Yeah.
went in.
Testicles, it'll stop.
Yeah, well, you get him to stay still that long, you know. Can't even cut his toenails. Ice his testicles, probably out of the question. But now, you know what's interesting about toilet paper? You could take 3 brand new rolls of toilet paper and put them in the bathroom in there, right? And this is true of anywhere you see the general public. You put 3 brand new rolls of toilet paper in the bathroom. You put one on the little dispenser, and then you set 2 there on the little, reading desk we have in there in the bathroom. No one will ever use all of 1 roll of toilet paper. No. It'll get down to about that much, and then they'll go to the next one. They will never finish a roll of toilet paper. The general public will not do it. If there's a fresh roll available, they will use that fresh roll.
I had a gym. I'd look in the trash when I go to dump it. I would find people throw like a third of a roll out.
Yeah,
It was
of
like
your
it was-
toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what
Yeah,
was wrong with this last
Joyce, am I right? I'm right, aren't I? Who else has a gym? I'm right, aren't I? Yeah. I wish the rest of you would explain that to us. Maybe you could explain why you do that to us.
Wasteful.
You don't want to come up short on the last use.
Well, that's not convincing. All right, scene.
In addition to the newly pregnant women and people with the abdominal aortic aneurysms,
Right.
what other potential clients should you turn away immediately?
Psychos,
Or I guess what conditions?
vegans. I wouldn't train a vegan. Wouldn't train a vegan. I wouldn't train a P5. You don't want to train those.
That's a P5.
P5? What's a P5? Well, it's the P1 through 5 scale, okay? A P1 is a nun, okay? All right? A P2 or a P2's kind of a boring wife. A P3'd be your wife, right? A P4 is your mistress. And a P5 is the girlfriend that you had that chased you down the street when she saw you out with another woman and rammed you with her car.
Gotcha.
That's a P5. She rammed you with her car.
Pain scale.
She followed you in the bar and started a fight with your date. No, you don't want her around. Because if you let them in, their lawyers will eventually be involved in your business, and you don't want to do that. No, I don't know. I would train most everybody other than that.
Yeah, I've got a question. It concerns specifically my daughter, but in general, she has legs that are slightly different length. You can notice it when she stands, but she's able to deadlift. She's able to squat. She's able to press. But what concerns would you have, say, long term for doing any kind of damage?
Did you read my article on that?
I did, but if she's not wearing an orthotic or making an adjustment, do you have any long term concerns if we got that straightened out? I guess that would be
Surgically?
no.
I'd shim her weightlifting shoe. How
Okay.
big is the discrepancy?
Is there an X-ray?
Have you had it measured?
No, it's more of an observation.
I don't think you need an X-ray.
But
Yeah,
in
you-
Canada, actually, we do. You don't
I know in Canada you may require an X-ray, but that's not the same thing as needing an X-ray. I can measure a leg length discrepancy in the floor,
Yeah, with,
right there,
Okay.
to a high degree of accuracy, and especially if we're going to shim, we're not going to do surgery on her. We're going to shim a shoe. If I get within 3 or 4 millimeters, that's close enough.
that's
Right.
perfect, yeah.
So, if it's significant, it needs to be. If it's extremely significant, her dress shoes need to be shimmed.
And her normal shoes are not shimmed. So
Well, what's the discrepancy?
Remember too,
you know,
You think
I
it's
don't-
2 inches, or you think it's a centimeter?
No, you're talking a half inch.
If she's got a centimeter and it's in the shank, we've got a guy in here that has got a short femur. And you just have to figure out the geometry. We shim the short side and we stagger the stance,
okay, right.
which compensates
That's
for the
right.
short femur.
Usually you need an exercised eye.
Yes,
exercised eye.
you have to know how to see it.
Yeah.
And a short leg, when you stand there under the bar, your legs will be at 2 different angles from vertical.
Yeah,
It'll
you
look
can
like
see her
that.
hips
This would be
slightly.
extreme,
Yeah, you
right?
s-
And it'll look kind of like that. And that should be the first thing that tips you off that there's a problem, and then you lay them down on the floor and you normalize the pelvis, make the pelvis level, and then see where the patellas are. If the patellas are off, it's a femur. If the malleolus is off, it's a shin, it's a tibia,
Okay.
And it seems to me as though the femurs are less common. It's more commonly a tibia. But, all the data's in that article. Most people have a little leg length discrepancy. It doesn't always need correction. If it's 3 or 4 millimeters, it's insignificant. But if it's enough, then under a load, the pelvis will be loaded asymmetrically. The pelvis will be asymmetrical, and the lumbar spine will be asymmetrically
Right.
loaded.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
That's my concern.
That's the problem with it. And if she's got a significant discrepancy, anytime she lifts, she needs to have that side shimmed.
Okay. Thank you.
It wouldn't matter if she's running, but loading, the spine needs to be loaded evenly. Okay?
Thank you.
Right?
Okay, I have a question. Are there any starting strength coaches outside the US
Yes.
certified? And like in which countries or like where?
Well, there's the famous Carl Ragavan is in London. He's the master of Western Europe at this point.
Which is hilarious to
Sean
imagine.
Payne.
Yes, imagine that. Sean Pang's in Singapore. Herbison's in Germany someplace.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess Germany really is Central Europe anymore, isn't it?
Probably the closest.
Since there's no wall or anything now. No curtain or a wall or anything like that. The Polish edition of the book is still apparently in preparation. Polish translation.
Well, like Bengay, Icy Hot, Tiger Arm, does any of that shit actually work?
On your nuts, it does.
For like back pain or for, if you're sore, does any of that have any significant effect on, if you have a back tweak or something, putting on the Icy Hot patches, does that actually do anything other than...
It makes you feel like you've done something constructive, go ahead and do it. But your back tweak's going to heal.
My opinion is that it doesn't do anything primarily super special, so it's certainly not to heal anything. But it can alter the sensation that can then modify your behavior. And you're more likely to move around and do stuff and live your life and moving your back around more.
Might sleep better.
Yeah, moving your back around more might, help it heal up.
The Icy Hot itself doesn't actually do anything. It's a counter irritant is what it's called. It's a counter irritant. Hotly.
I'm going to ask a question that may get you mad at me again.
Again?
Yeah. So, first of all, you're on the record, I think it's in the book, saying that physical strength is the most important thing in life.
Yes, I am.
All right. Or at least very, very, very important.
All right, yes.
All right. Secondly, you claim to have, if not the best program for increasing strength, then at least a really, really good program.
No,
for
the
increasing
best.
strength.
Yeah. It's
the best. Yeah. Tom was a bit hesitant last seminar in saying it was the best.
It is.
You seem more certain.
It is the best program in existence for increasing strength.
All right.
Because
so
we
what's
have
with all
fixed
this?
it up so that it is.
Yeah. So what's with all this narrow casting bullshit then?
Well, then you misunderstand what I mean.
All right. I was hoping that.
You're an intelligent man, right?
I like to think so.
Right? Do you realize that not everybody is as smart as you?
Yeah.
Are you smart enough to know that not everybody's as smart as you?
Yeah.
Right? You remember the comment Friday night about correlation versus cause and effect?
I do.
Do you realize that not everybody understands that?
Yeah.
This is an arcane science.
No.
To lots and lots of people that do not understand why Herschel Walker only did sit-ups and push-ups and was in the NFL for how fucking long was Herschel Walker in the NFL? 10, 12 years.
I thought he never took a day off from training.
But all he ever did was push-ups and sit-ups. He just exercised. That's all he ever did. Now, there are lots of people that do not understand why Herschel Walker can do sit-ups and push-ups and therefore and be the best player in the NFL for several seasons. And why, therefore, that sit-ups and push-ups are not the way to be Herschel Walker.
Yeah, but lots of those people are pretty smart.
No. Most people are stupid.
Yeah, most people are stupid.
Most
but
people
lots
are
of
stupid.
people who believe that Herschel Walker could do sit-ups and push-ups and get really strong are not idiots. Not every intelligent person is converted to your method yet. My question would be, since physical strength is the most important thing in life, and you have the best way to increase physical strength, why aren't you preaching the gospel at every opportunity?
We are.
You're not doing any marketing.
You can have absolute logic, facts, data, epidemiology, analysis, all this other stuff, but there's a trainer down at over across the street over here at Gold's Gym, and his clients are going to do tricep press downs and leg extensions, and they don't care about this shit. They're not going to go to the trouble of reading it. If they did go to the trouble of reading it, they wouldn't understand it. And this is a sorting function in the population. It is a function of the fact that not everybody is prepared to implement complicated concepts, even if they are the best way to do things.
Yeah.
Just psychology.
However,
However,
lots of people who are intelligent enough to understand the concept are unaware of the concept.
right.
They think that the other
Right.
way is better through no
Right.
fault of their own.
So,
when you
all
reach
right,
out
so
to people,
I see what you're asking. All
yeah,
right,
so
let
when you
me-
reach out to people like Alan,
Let me
you're going to
address-
reach hundreds more
let me
people.
address that question, all right? About 6 years ago now, was that 2000? That was 2013. The Dan Duane thing in the New York Times. 2000. It was 12 or 13. 4 or 5 years ago. A guy I know wrote an op-ed piece in the New York Times. And it basically said the starting strength method is how I've gotten stronger. And strength training, talked about strength training, mentioned the book. Within 48 hours, the book went to number 23 on Amazon's top 100 all titles.
Yeah.
And at that point, well, about a year later, I said, you know, we can't do this ourselves. We got to have some help. So I hired a publicist to do what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
I hired a publicist. And we kept her on the payroll for about 2 years. Could not reproduce the effect. Couldn't get anything else in New York Times, tried to get on TV, tried to get publications at Boston Globe, various large papers. I wrote a whole bunch of mainstream articles for the general public. Could not penetrate again. So I'm prepared to listen to your ideas. If you can get us out in broadcast, I'm prepared to do it.